Piece by Piece is the newest animated film to come out in theaters. Starring singer and musician Pharrell Williams, this is a biopic made entirely out of Lego animation, and the first Lego animated film to come out since 2019. That was 5 years ago, geez. Now this is one of my most anticipated films of the year. One, I just love the Lego movies back in the 2010s with their unique animation and quirky storytelling. And two, I'm actually a big fan of Pharrell and his music, not just his own solo career, but with his production with the Neptunes as well. So hearing his story come to life in Lego is really a treat. There haven't really been too many animated documentaries out there. The last one I can remember was the movie Flea, so having another animated biopic is a pleasure to have. And with the Lego brand being moved from Warner Brothers into Universal, it's interesting to see how the studio is going to use Lego effectively, since they haven't really done anything with the brand since 2020 when they bought the rights.
You know, it'd be cool is if we told my story with Lego pieces.
Seriously?
So now that the film is finally out, how good is it? Well, while I didn't exceed my expectations, that doesn't mean that it was bad. I still quite enjoyed it. I ate up everything about Pharrell's life and his rise in the music industry. This made me feel inspired and willing to put in the work that I like and want to do, just like what you can do if you like and subscribe. Now obviously I'm going into spoiler territory here, even though it's a biopic and you can probably just look up Pharrell's life on Wikipedia, but just in case you're one of those people who doesn't want anything spoiled, go to this part of the video. It's still a fresh movie out in theaters after all.
I was always a bad gangster, but you brought out a smile.
Hell yeah.
First off, the animation here is stellar. I don't think it's better than the previous Lego movies since those had more amazing backgrounds and set pieces, but with Universal and Focus Features now taking the wheel, the animation here is still good. I think the character designs here are pretty solid. You can tell more recognizable celebrities through their figurines like Snoop Dogg and Gwen Stefani, but I'm also glad the biopic tells you who is who for more or lesser knowns when interviewing them, so that does help. I said that previous Lego movies had better backgrounds, but this movie does fit the tone for its source material. It's more modern and urban, showing the sunny side in Virginia, the chaotic and hyped up sequences in Pharrell's high school, the different record studios throughout the movie, but the effects are where it's at. I especially like the use of color, representing the sound of music played throughout the film. Hearing the Stevie Wonder track and seeing the different colors and effects glaring around, you definitely feel that same kind of magic that young Pharrell feels in the movie. Also, since this is a biopic, the film does tend to show more mature themes that slide in. This is a PG movie, so there is some surprisingly mild swearing in here. There's themes of God and religion, which is new for Lego since I heard they don't really touch that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's a scene where Pharrell and his grandma go to church, and Pharrell gets really inspired by his pastor and all that. They even touch Black Lives Matter with the Kendrick feature. Heck, there's a scene where Pharrell gets depressed by the overwork and his studio gets flooded and his executive goons leave him behind drowning. It's fantastic. But I think the funniest of these is the use of drugs like weed in the Snoop Dogg part as a perfume spray. And Pharrell makes a beat out of his mind when it's just Febreze. It even has PG spray on the bottle. That's pretty clever.
You ever been in a city where you could see the fog really low? That's what it was like.
Obviously, I love animation. This whole channel is now being dedicated towards it. But I'm also a huge fan of music as well, especially the sounds of hip-hop. So this was pretty much tailor-made for me. Seeing the different timelines throughout Pharrell's career and the sparks of magic he made in the music industry is just fascinating to me. Like, I know he made some iconic rap bangers, but I had no idea he helped out on No Doubt's Hella Good song. Every reference to Neptune's production, to similar cameos from famous rappers and musicians had me kicking my feet up with excitement. Seeing Kendrick Lamar and Daft Punk here in the same movie, it got me so pumped up.
I am so pumped up!
Even cameos who had more of an impact on this film, like Jay-Z and Pusha T, felt really genuine and fit the tone really nicely. I guess one letdown was Snoop Dogg, but that was more of his design. I don't know why they made him so much taller and gave him extra bricks for legs. He looks like a less intimidating Mr. President from the first Lego movie. If there was one major criticism I had with this film, it's probably the lack of any emotional aspect. In the beginning of the film, we know Pharrell has a very close connection to his grandmother, who inspired him to make music in the first place, but we don't really get to see more of that connection until a sudden call during the second half that she has passed away, leaving Pharrell depressed. Now, Pharrell does give a good performance in this part of the biopic, since he's shown to be sad and actually crying thinking about this moment. And yes, while it is very bittersweet and heartfelt, it just comes out of the blue and gets pushed under the rug in 2 minutes. We just cut back to Pharrell's more recent success. I do wish we had more of that sentiment connection between those two, and it would leave a bigger impact on her death in general. But hey, that's just my little nitpick. I also do have to wonder who the target audience this is for. Like, obviously if you're a hip-hop head and know of Pharrell's contributions in the music industry, then yeah, this is a must-watch. But this is also done in Lego. And who loves Lego? That's right, children. But how many of them know who Pharrell is? Barely a few. And yeah, this movie is PG, but I don't think a bunch of kids are going to sit through an animated biopic and not know half of what's going on. This movie has a whole different vibe than previous Lego movies. I just have a hard time figuring out who the general appeal is for this movie. But hey, don't let that stop you from taking a peek at this movie. There's still a lot to offer. I really enjoyed this movie. I think the soundtrack is great, the animation is spectacular, it definitely feels like a raw documentary with great visuals to complement it. Great stuff. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go see if there's any Lego Daft Punk figurines on sale I can get.